Yo, what is going on YouTube? Two Wheel Gardener here. I'm gonna talk about my chickens. I got my chicken coop finally built. The chickens have been outside for about a month maybe. It's not finished completely. I'm gonna have to change the design up of the roof because when it rains really hard it leaks, but this is almost a completely free chicken coop where we built it using pallets. The only thing we really paid for was some siding that we put on there and the sheathing I put on top of the kennel. So I'm gonna walk over here really quick. If you stick with me, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. All right, so we over here at the chicken pen. I used the old 6x10 kennel, and like I said, if you're trying to keep your money low or whatever, if you have an old kennel laying around or you can find some online for really cheap. I only have 6 hens in here. So 6x10 kennel, we use chicken wire to reinforce it because when chickens are younger, they can still fit through the links in the fence. So you're gonna wanna put something else in there. Unless you have full grown hens, then you don't have that problem. The heads will still fit through though. So if you have raccoons, predators or something like that, you probably still wanna put some chicken wire or something. Around here, I do have a hawk, 2 of them. Ever since these chickens have been out here, he's been hanging out. He is either sitting on a power pole or in the next door neighbor's yard. I could hear him in the morning. So we put these tops on here. I'm gonna have to buy another one. I was gonna leave a little skylight or something like that, but I figured I'm just gonna put these cost about $15 from Lowe's. This is what cost the most, was to put something over the top of here. And I try to keep the cost as low as possible with doing this whole thing for the chickens. I'm going to move the camera in there so you can see the upside of, there's the hawk right there. And so we have our hens right here. We have Big Bertha. We got Tiny, Pete, and Goldie. And the 2 black ones are Glitter and Sprinkle. What I was saying outside was we have these, it's to act as a shade on the inside, but you have to put some kind of support to when it rains, like it's been raining a lot. So if you don't have any support, these are going to sag and then they'll fall in. So we put these are 2x6s, and we kind of rested them across the top of the kennel, and then we zip tied the shades to the frame of the kennel and put some bars in here for the chicks. And eventually I'm gonna hang the water and food from these. And this is what I was saying, this was going to be like a skylight or some sort for the chickens, but that's not going to work. So I'm gonna have to buy another sheet, and we're just going to close the whole thing in. Therefore we don't have to worry about our hawk friend maybe dive bombing in here and possibly getting a chicken or 2. So the main attraction of this video is the Pallet chicken coop. This is one side. Like I said, I did this roof with some old shingling that we had left over, but I used the siding right here as the board under here, and I'm going to have to go buy some plywood. I was trying to go a little bit deeper route since wood costs so much right now, but I'm going to have to go spend the money and buy a whole sheet of plywood and redo this roof, because in the middle right here is sagging a little bit. So when it rains, the water likes to pool right here instead of run off. So this is my first time doing something structurally like this, so we're gonna have to rethink that. And as for the inside, I as you can see, I use, let me think, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 pallets to make this. And pallets are usually free. You can get them from almost anywhere. And we literally just set them up on the sides, put some bars in here, made a nesting box also. So there's 3 nesting boxes. Chickens aren't quite old enough yet. They're getting there. Maybe in a few more weeks we'll be able to get some more, we'll start getting eggs. I put 1 access door on this side, which I'm looking through. get you a little hook and loop thing for your and then we have our nesting box here that I built. Like I said, this is my first time building, so everything is not lined up perfectly. As you can see, it's a gap here, but it's going to do for now. I still have to put a latch on here. We got our handle, some hinges up in here, our siding. We're going to paint this purple. Another door for on this side, and this is our other access point with our roost in here. I'm probably going to add another one in here. I always keep some little bit of food and water in here for them. But this is about I think it's a 5x4 coop, and I have 6 chickens, and they seem to be comfortable with it, so I'm happy with it. It's a cheap coop, and like I said, my first time building something, so I cut this door, and I don't have a table saw, so I was trying to pull a straight line and I didn't, so I had to put some chicken wire right here to make sure nothing could get inside this part of the pallet and possibly get in the coop. But it's working out for now. We got a little viewing window right here, not particularly for me, but for my little girl, little boy, when they come out here, they can see the chickens through here. If you made it this far through the video, I'm going to show a breakdown of pretty much a step-by-step how I built this this coop with pallets. You also want to try to get the pallets that are pretty much heat treated, not used with chemical treats, because it's something that's in chemical treats for pallets that could harm your chickens. So be cautious of that if you decide to use pallets to build a coop. And give me a second and I'll start breaking down how I did this a step-by-step on how I built this coop. But 6 hens, 5x4 kennel. I don't know why I keep saying kennel. 5x4 coop. Took me, I don't know, back and forth with it. It took me about a month and a half to get it finished, life and everything like that. But we got to finish. The chickens like it. They get to go in, they stay out here, they do their own thing, and they seem to be enjoying life outside. So when you first start this, you want to get yourself your pallets. You want to get 6 or however many pallets you need. In this photo, I took the middle struts out of the pallet to lay a piece of plywood that I had that came with the pallet. Some of the pallets you can get that have like some kind of wood on them. So that's another way to not spend money if you try to find those, to use them as the floor and put that as the floor. And also, side note, take the slat side of a pallet is very difficult. They're very tough to pull apart. So after doing this floor and taking apart, I decided to try to leave the pallet slats in. If you feel like you need to remove them, then go ahead, but you're probably going to break some, as I did trying to remove everything. In this photo, I pretty much put up all the sides that I thought I wanted to do to measure out how everything was going to lay. The pallets don't line up actually even, because pallets are all different sizes usually. So the 2 sides are a little bit taller than the back wall, but it worked out fine. I lined it up, and this is the side where there's a door also in right now. In this photo, I cut what I was going to use for a nesting box, which is way too huge. So I ended up having to add a piece of wood in there, shorten down the box, and go from there. And this was not the final size, because after speaking with some folks, this size coop, they said wasn't big enough for 6 hens. So that's how I decided to add a little bit more floor space to the the coop. And that's what this picture is, me slicing. I actually cut this pallet in half and nailed it and screwed it to the other part of the floor, and made the coop to a 5 feet by 4 feet wide coop. Where you can see it in this picture is that pallet screwed in. There's also the where I had to put a piece of wood there to shorten down the nesting box because it was so tall and out of proportion. There's also another small bar in there that I used to so the chicken nesting boxes weren't so wide, like I said, because I made the nesting box so huge at first. This is when all the sides are up, the final side, and it was one more side that has to be done on the front. And I left that opening for the other door that I decided to put in on the chicken coop also. Above you, with one door also in there, I had to put the other pallets on the front of the coop, and all I did was put the siding up and cut a hole in it. The siding is just some regular siding I got from the store. Like I said, it's the first time I've done anything like this. Any gaps that are left in the coop, you should probably put chicken wire, some kind of hog wire or something to make sure predators don't get in if you have that problem. And if you decide to use a kennel, you just have to take some bolt cutters or something to cut the links in the fence so you can have a door that will open for the coop. You'll have to have a door for the chicken coop. And that was pretty much it. I didn't have all the photos that I took doing this. I was hoping I could have recorded while I was doing this, but it was so much back and forth, being this the first time I've done anything like this, and I had no blueprint to go about it. I was just winging it. So I don't have all the photos, and hopefully this, could help somebody who might have something in mind, maybe more inclined than I was doing this building. But I had fun doing it. Hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks. Good job.